Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. We're looking at contracts, and this one in particular for a crewed Mars flyby. Send a human being into Martian space and return safely. The offer will expire. How long? They will give me until basically 1980, 5 years to fulfill this contract, and I think we can get it done. Failure will result in an $8 million hit, but they're going to give us a $3.3 million advance and another $2 million if we do it, if we pull it off. So we're going to take that contract. Woo! All the money. Yes, all the money. 3 active contracts, so I can just kind of no. Surface of Venus. Yeah, we'll go ahead and pick that one up since we're heading there anyway. Pluto flyby. That'll give us until 1990. Are we going to be able to... Well, that was convenient. Thank you for putting that away. It's only a $2 million payout, but... Oh man, I don't even know if we can pull it off. And it'll hit us for $2 million if we fail. Uranus flyby will also give us only until 1990. If we launch at the 77 window, will we be able to fly by 1990? I don't know. The Kentucky Kev mission is still on his way to Neptune. That has been in flight for, God, almost 15 years at this point. So, yeah, just another, I think it's like 2 more years, and we'll have been 10 years since we last checked in on him. So we'll have to go back and visit him just about once every 10 years or so. Anything else in here that we can pick up? Sounding rocket high, why not? Free money, basically. Might as well pick up sounding rocket medium. We're not going to do any more of these impactor contracts because the seismometer part doesn't work. Polar orbit, adjusted orbit, X-planes. Might as well pick up sounding rocket medium. Fair enough. And... oh, we could pick up Neptune flyby, because we're going to be there well before 1990. So yeah, we'll pick that up. 990 grand. Alright. Oh, come on. Thank you. And that tops us off. Anyway, let's get out to launching stuff. VAB. Artemis 3M2 is at the launch pad and ready. We are at our Mars window. Now we just need to... Now, those are our pods. Remove. Alright. Glenn Armstrong, pilot rank 2. Virginia Rodriguez, scientist, rank 2. We don't have an engineer that's rank 2, do we? Oh, do I risk the orange suit? I don't want to. And it looks like our other option here is Boris Pogodin. And that would make this a fully green crew. This is, other than going to the moon and to orbit a few times, but I guess that's what our experienced crew has done also. Oh boy. Alright, launch. Please don't let the game crash. And there it is in all of its glory. A DN5B capped off with the Artemis 3M-2 for our first ever interplanetary crewed mission. These 3 lucky, or unlucky, brave Kerbonauts are going to be dispatched to Mars. The initial part of their mission will take them to our orbital Mars station, and we will expand and deal with mission creep as we get there. I'm just going to double check staging. That's booster SEP, that's launch escape tower, that's stage SEP, engine ignition. So what are these 2? I don't know what they are, so I'm going to move them up. That's that and that engine. Okay. So really, I just want I want these fairings. I will do those manually, now that I think about it. I don't know where those fairings are. And that's a problem. There's those fairings. Yeah, why? No. Let's just put you guys in your own group. How about that? So that is that engine, and that is those fairings. And after those fairings, then should be those fairings. And I should have done all of that off camera. So, rendezvous planner. Let's target the moon. Oh, 11.28 degree. We are not that far off, but is it? It's climbing. So we're basically going to sit on the pad for a day. That's not a huge deal. It is August 1975. I may have mentioned that back in the admin building. Oh, I may have just talked well past my node. We're going to sit on the pad for another day. Such a nerve-wracking experience that I'm a little frazzled. Trying to keep my cool, but I've legitimately never attempted this before. So I'm a little nervous. Alright, they've only been wedged in there for 2 days now. But they should suck it up and get used to it. Because it's going to be a very, very long trip. Alright, 0.3 degrees, let's do it. I'm certain the rocket is fully fueled. So, SAS is on. Throttle is set to full. Man, that's a big rocket. Ignition sequence start. And we have liftoff. Artemis 3M. Groundbreaking, history-making mission to explore Mars. Now, I would like to say that I have this scripted in KOS, but I do not. So I will be flying this manually. So please pardon the existence of all of my windows and controls and things, as I do need to go ahead and get this big sucker to orbit. So I will pick all of you up there. So my initial thoughts with this episode, or in general, was that I was going to try to do something grand and cinematic and awesome, because this is a huge step for this space program and for me personally, seeing as how this is something that I've never even actually attempted before, let alone decided to do in front of hundreds of people on the internet. So I kind of goofed around with camera angles here and just tried to capture a very awesome cinematic thing, for which I had intended to put together a little like teaser trailer, something or other. That's probably not going to happen, because in all of my hubris, I have made some very critical errors, a lot of them being the ascent path, and this angle here is why most of it went terribly wrong. I thought it'd be really cool to get like this awesome shot of the booster separating as if it were from like an onboard mounted camera, and I don't know. I was also dealing with the center of mass shift. There goes booster sep. And believe me, it looks really cool in, like, not sped up footage. And then I realized, oh god, I'm way off course. We'll ditch the tower, we'll spend some time in here with the crew, just kind of hanging out, because this is the part of the ascent path where it would have normally been just a straight arrow shot. But I'm going entirely too high and not nearly enough fast, was kind of the pretext here. But nevertheless, I've persisted in trying to get some nice angled shots and some cool looking things rather than paying attention to my flight plan, which is it's a horrible thing to do. Learn from my mistakes. I mean, yeah, that is fun to watch, I have to say. But get your flight plan right, or use KOS or some other scripting anything to get stuff settled. Make sure you're on course before you try to be creative with things. Anyway, we're coming up on booster sep here, so I will turn you back over to old me, who's coming to grips with all of these mistakes. Alright, there's stage sep. We're just going to give it a couple of seconds before we toggle on our... God, I really hope... Yes, it is a J2 series. Fantastic. Alright. 3 minutes, 6 seconds to apoapsis, 7 minutes of burn time. Yeah, we should just go ahead and light this candle, shouldn't we? Ullage, very stable. Ignition. Alright. J2 stage is lit. We are pushing for orbit. Fingers crossed, everybody. Yes, old me is starting to realize that things may be way worse off than we initially anticipated. After the 2 orbit burn, our J2 stage is supposed to have something like 4,600 meters per second of delta V left in the tank, which I figured through copious amounts of testing and throwing lots of wasted stuff at Mars was more than enough to make the transfer and account for any miscellaneous errors that I tend to make very frequently. But instead, we're going entirely too high, and we're going to incur even more steering losses and a resultant orbit that is not only highly eccentric, but way higher in altitude, thus costing us efficiency in delta V through the Oberth effect. So, well, that's the update. This is where we are. Okay, engine shutdown. We are in an orbit. It's a particularly terrible one because I probably was not doing some of my best piloting like I really should have been, but we are at a 416 kilometer by 169 kilometer, 3,963 meters per second left in our J2 or S4B transfer stage. So let's select Mars, set as target. We can put away rendezvous planner and breakout maneuver planner. Workshop selection. You know, computing. That's fine. Whatever works. Alright. Pork chop. ASAP. Anytime now. Transit duration will be 156 days. 4.6. What's our lowest delta V? 2 years. Oh, it's telling us that we're past the node. Oh, this is not good. This is not good at all. Create node. Alright, well, we're going to have to focus view. Well, let's tinker with this node for a little bit. See where this is going to bring us in. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. We want our orbit around this way so we can pick up Mars Station. So altering from that inclination shouldn't be too terrible. The problem is that we're about 700 meters per second shy on our delta V requirements. And our node is in 48 minutes. So, this is very interesting. I guess we're going to get done what of the node that we can, uncouple, pick up our HAB module, turn back around, and then burn. Oh, that engine... Alright, I'm going to see if I can't efficientize this node just a little bit. And for the record, MechJeb was actually true to his sport this time. I tried just pulling it a little bit onto the periapsis and trying to get a better encounter, but basically I could get a more efficient encounter, but it's going to be well beyond the 200 some odd days that we have in life support. You can see where the apoapsis of our orbit is currently. I even tried to two-step it by making it making a further adjustment at the inclination change, but while I'm sure I could get an orbit over there with enough tinkering, we're talking well more travel time than I had initially anticipated. So for this time, MechJeb actually did do it best. Well, the short answer is nothing that isn't going to put us well beyond our allocated life support time. We're looking in excess of 300 some odd days. So I think our best bet is to just turn around and go for our docking maneuvers now and make most of this burn backwards. I know, this sounds just awful and weird, but it might just be for the better. As absurd as it all sounds. So we're going to take a quick save in case this fails miserably. But what good is KSP when it's not just being a little bit absurd? I mean, it is just a game after all, and well, this was not how I intended to do this. Not even in the slightest. I guess my plan, which I will definitely elaborate on later after I've kind of thought this through a little bit more, was to keep the S4B stage attached and use it as a like wet lab slash habitation, at least a space for the crew to stretch out. We maybe even incur a rotation to give it some sense of artificial gravity, so they'd have a place to wander around, stretch around for the almost 200 days that they will be in transit. But yeah, I decided I wanted to be creative or something and got foolish. So this is where we're left, and you can yell at me about docking port alignment indicator now. Okay, we're docked. Oh boy. So now we'll just do control from here. I never set out action groups for this, did I? Oh, I did not. No, shutdown engine. That is not even the slightest what we want. Why did I not set up action groups for this? These solar panels are... They're not stowed. Oh, what the hell? Alright. Let's try something different. Because without those solar panels, this whole mission is scrubbed. They've worked every other time. Oh, no. Alright. Well, I guess we will jump back to the Space Center. Yeah, that's our waste containers. This is all food, water, oxygen. Now we do have some Aerosine N2O in there. Fine. Good enough, I suppose. Alright, what about these? These are obviously not stowed. Yes, they're stowed. Alright, quick save. Oh, I did not want a quick save in case this goes horribly, tragically wrong. But I have to. Quick save. And press and hold F9. Let's see if just resetting things will let me deploy these solar panels. Okay. Looks to be we're still in orbit. Looks to be everything is A-okay. Come on, extend panels. Yes. Okay. Thank God. Oh, come on. Well, we got 2 of them out. Let's see if we can get our emergency panels out. Oh, let's not do that. Good. Good. Alright, what's our maneuver planner? You can move out of the way. We are charging for now. And not by much, but this core is taking a lot of energy, so hopefully we can just get this underway. We will do control from here. The node is gone. Great. That's fantastic. Set as target. ASAP create. Yep. Still 4.6 kilometers per second, which is about a kilometer per second more than we have. We have it in here, definitely, and I guess that was always part of the bag. We just needed to... we can't go through this whole docking procedure when we need to be doing a burn. And of course, what we have in the S4B is more than enough to get us out of Earth's SOI, so it's not like we can make a 2-lap pass. Hear me, baby? Just hold together. Alright, and we will lock those fuels for the time being. Those are locked. We need to lock... Oh, man, that's most of what we've got in there. Great. So I'm assuming those thrusters are firing off the weight of this fuel. That's okay. Alright, close enough. Let's get to this node and see if we can't get this underway, shall we? Alright, we are 10 minutes out from our burn. Oh, that is so wildly off inclination. This is going to be so much fun. We're basically pointing straight at the ground, it looks like. Our altitude is not that high, but our apoapsis is. We're burning quite close to periapsis, so I think we should be able to pull this off. I'm going to aim just a little high. Start to ullage in our engine. Ignition. Whoa. It's a little too much torque there, buddy. But it looks to be stable. Docking clamp is holding. Our unorthodox backward ass burn is it's happening, is what's going on here. Extend panels. Still stowed, magically. Alright, let's bleed off this thruster fuel. And get as much out of this stage as we can. That should be all the aerosine locked. So now we're just relying on these 4 little balloon tanks down here. Oh man, nothing is going very well for us right now. Commander Glenn Armstrong, you, I blame you. It was your terrible flight path to orbit that has caused this, undoubtedly. And while Commander Glenn Armstrong may or may not care about my seating the blame squarely at his feet, we are still go on our mission. Despite some of my better instincts telling me to just go ahead and mission abort and bring them home and try to build this again and launch next window, but I am deciding instead to just go ahead with the mission. We have lots of fuel at our station. I actually went back later on and just double-checked the fuel amount, consolidated things, and kind of lightened the part count at the station by deorbiting 2 of the tugs. I have footage of that. Maybe we'll get to it later. But there is enough fuel there to refuel the Artemis from empty, which should give it enough delta V to get itself home. That was the whole point of the design, was that it would have enough delta V to get itself and this little HAB module back to Earth. So while this mission is not going well by any stretch of the imagination, it is still within most of our parameters. At least I would hope. Anyway, so We're just going to go ahead and let this S4B stage burn out, and then we'll get to our about face and completing the rest of our insertion to Mars. All right, decouple. Control from here. Activate engine. Let's pull ourselves away just a little bit and get angled into our node. Oh, would you look at that? One of our panels decided to extend. How about this other one? Nope. Extend. Yes. All 4 panels deployed. That is fantastic. And also about time. Alright. Oh, our node disappeared. Oh, come on. Oh, this is bad. Ours. It's set as target. Come on. Alright. Maneuver planner. Create node. So this turned into a much longer segment of me fiddling with nodes than usual, or as I was prepared for. So even with me speeding this footage up quite significantly, I have decided to edit most of it out because I can't think of things to say. But nevertheless, we get a trajectory that looks pretty good and something that we can shoot for. So away we go. Holy shnikes. Alright, we're gonna run with that. It's 1.3 kilometers per second, which is well more than I wanted it to be. Well more fuel than I wanted to spend, but it is what it is, and I'm not letting this stop us. If we have enough fuel to get there, we can have enough fuel on station to get back. So we will make this correction, and that's certainly not all of our fuel. We have this tank down here that is locked. That tank is open. We have some reserve in here, but I think this is just our big primary tank, which is to be expected. And stable ignition on our service propulsion system. Oh, this burn is going to take forever. We're going to be quite a bit behind the mark. But I think we can still pull this off. I know this has been like the worst mission ever. Why is SAS off? That would have helped us out a lot. Alright, we can also bring back in our reserve panels. We're not going to need them. All 4 of our primaries are deployed and active, which is a fantastic thing. Alright. And now just a good long, hell of a long time until we get there. So I guess our aero capture is going to have to be on point. I don't think we can spend months and months and months. Well, at least a month slowing down with the atmosphere to make our rendezvous station. Well, this certainly has gotten very interesting. Yeah. Total life support's about 235 days. What's our time to node? 160 days. Okay, maybe we will have time to aero capture effectively. So let's speed through this, I guess. It is going to take for absolutely ever. And that does mean that they don't get their S4B stage to live in like I planned. Oh my god, everything is going horribly wrong. They do have the have module. So like each of them gets their own about the size of an automobile to stretch out in. I'm so sorry, you three. I promise all future missions to Mars will not be this haphazard. Of course, we'll have better technology by then, too. It's kind of a joke, isn't it? Well, I am just very glad that the service propulsion system here is extraordinarily reliable and has many, many ignitions. We did not have an ignition failure, but it's a great long-running engine, especially for these prolonged escape burns that we need so desperately. Especially now. But it did take quite a long time, and there was quite a bit of me just monitoring the map view and making sure that we were staying on course and that everything was going to be going well as getting some more action shots or something, as if I haven't given up quite enough on that dream. Now, our Delta V figures are not tabulating in that reserve fuel tank that's there in our habitation module, so we do actually have more Delta V at our disposal than what MechJeb is showing us, thank goodness, but it is a fairly small margin, so we're going to have to be extra nice with our aero capture and our docking maneuvers. Alright, let's see what that bought us. Nothing. We're still not on an encounter. Probably because we were super late with our burn. That's fantastic. Just plain old fantastic. We'll rearrange some fuels just for the time being. Alright, so yeah, actually let me just pour all of this in here, and we'll just see what our total Delta V figure looks like. Disengage RSS, or RCS for a second. Huh. It says 3.3 kilometers per second. Oh, I guess because we just lightened that up so much. That's interesting. Too bad we can't ditch it. Alright, I'm gonna go plot some more nodes and try to figure out this silliness. Alright, well, it looks like just 141 meters per second in about half an hour. And we're good to go. So we'll just go ahead and inflate our hab pod things. They're way smaller than I thought they would be, but I guess we knew that already. But either way, it gives a Kerbal a nice place to stretch out, maybe run in place. Maybe there's some exercise equipment in there. Maybe not just the usual card games or Parcheesi. Alright, so we are on node. Let's go ahead and start the time warp. It says this burn will take about a minute. I'm not sure how much I believe that. Although this does say that we can displace another 3 kilometers per second in about 8 minutes, which is really just not that bad. Alright. I think 3 minutes is probably a bit excessive. Maybe we'll get down to about the minute and a half mark, right about there. Eek. Alright, let's ullage in our service propulsion system. Risky stable ignition 33 ignitions remaining. Oh boy. Be extra weird if we used up all of them, although I know we're gonna use more than a few trying to dock. We've already used way more fuel than I thought we would. This should be very interesting. Well, we are certainly going to take them to Mars. What will happen when they get there is just anybody's bet at this point. Come on, stay pointing at the node, please. That would be the best. Alright, there's our line coming in. Nice and steady. And shut down. RCS off. Not too bad. I'll take it. God, I totally shouldn't take it. I should make another correction, but I want to be done for right now. I will plot a mid-course correction on our way there, but we have a few other things that we need to get off the ground. So, good. Looks like all of our storage vessels are working appropriately. If we turn off this tank, we're down to 1 kilometer per second. And because I know I'm probably going to forget later, for the sake of the aero capture, we're going to displace fuel from our bottommost tank to our topmost tank. We want to get as much weight, as close to that heat shield as we can. Although, man, the sooner we can get rid of that heavy, clunky thing, the better off we will be. So, it has not gone well, but this is the first leg of our crewed journey to Mars, and I'm excited and nervous and scared that it's already way too screwed up. But there it is, the Artemis 3M on its departure from Earth. Good luck and Godspeed, all of you. Glenn, Virginia, and Boris. You're gonna need it, because I'm probably gonna try to kill you on accident. If that makes any sense. Well, we've got at least 2 more launches, it looks like. I'm going to try to rush build another fuel cell for the station, because it looks like this thing is coming in a lot less fueled than I would have liked. And of course, we'll have to fuel the lander if we want to make anything like that happen. So we're probably going to need just a little bit more fuel on station. So, fuel slug and lander. And hopefully we can get this mission underway. It's world's first. You should be scared, right? Okay, anyway, that's going to do it for this episode, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. I do appreciate it. I will see all of you in the next one. So, until then, see you later.